Welcome to María Alejandra OFF-TOPIC, the podcast about the non-musical things around music. My name is María Alejandra Jiménez, and I am a violinist, musician, and writer. Besides this podcast, in Off-Topic, we also have a blog and a newsletter. Subscribe on your favorite audio platform so you don't miss an episode, and if you want to explore more, visit mariaalejandra.jimenez.com. Jimenez with a J and a Z, or follow me on Instagram at MAOffTopic. So this is the final episode of the first season. I just recorded the same episode in Spanish. I don't have a script, so it's going to be like two slightly different episodes, which feels very weird, but it's like this. Also, this feels a bit weird because I got used to recording with the guests, and I really loved having the conversation with the guests, and now I'm here all alone in a room talking by myself, which feels a bit weird, but here we are. I want to still share some stuff with you before I close this season and I start preparing the next one. The first thing is that stick around until the end of the episode. I have a little surprise for you. And another thing is that as I am recording this with my duo, Anamorphosi, we are on tour and we will be performing in Carru, that is a small town in Piemonte, Italy, on the 5th of September, in Torino on the 6th of September, and we are going to perform as well in Basel and in Lausanne in Switzerland on the 20 and the 25th of October. And the tickets are now online. For Italy, for the concert in Turin, you just have to book a ticket. They are for free. In Basel and in Lausanne, you have to go buy your tickets. We have different prices also for students and everything. So if you are around any of those cities, please go. You don't want to miss it. It's a project that we have been working on in the last 2 years. So we have been working on it like crazy. We are going to play great music in beautiful halls, in beautiful places. We have things prepared, like little surprises for the concert, so you don't want to miss it. It's going to be a very cool experience, and I'm really looking forward to perform for you alongside with Umberto. So yeah, go visit anamorphosi.online to get your ticket and to get more information. And I just wanted to let you know that I will be also taking some months off to prepare season 2. I have to now contact the guests for the second season. I have to record it. I have to produce it. It's a lot of work. But in the meantime, you can subscribe to my newsletter. You can go to my website and there you will find 2 freebies. One is a free ebook about practicing, how to practice in a healthy way, how to practice your instrument in a way that is sustainable. And the other freebie is a tracker and a budget for freelancers. So go there, you give me your email, you get your freebies, and you are subscribed to my newsletter where I share with you every month a digital magazine that I prepare with a lot of love, where I share with you an essay that I write every month, and I share with you also a lot of recommendations of music, books, and things that I'm enjoying around, also places that I visit, sometimes products, even though I don't like to recommend a lot of products in general, but sometimes I share some products that are useful, especially for the girlies, sometimes, but doesn't happen very often. And you can also follow me on Instagram, MAOffTopic, and there I share occasional content. You know that I'm not a big fan of social media, but I'm there now sharing stuff from time to time and sharing news about the podcast, so go follow me there as well. So yeah, also I want to say a big thank you first to all the guests. Thank you to Umberto, to Matteo, Leticia, Chris, Alicia, Gillian, Virginie, Sol, Rodolfo and the two Lauras, Laura Granero and Laura Ortiz. It was awesome to have conversations with you. I really enjoyed it. I really had a great time. I learned a lot, and it was beautiful to listen to so many different perspectives on things. It was just awesome. So thank you so much. And thank you also to all the listeners, because first of all, like, my heart is super warm. I received so many beautiful messages from you telling me that you were enjoying the podcast a lot, telling me that you felt related to it, that you needed it, that it made you feel good, that you learned things. So I'm really, really thankful for all the beautiful messages, and thankful for all the people that is listening, and thankful also to all the people that is supporting the podcast, buying me coffees. You know that you can support me by buying me a coffee. The link is in the description. So thank you so much, and it makes me super happy, and I cannot wait to share with you more conversations soon with more amazing guests. So what else? I have a little bullet list of things so I don't forget anything. Yes, so if you have any suggestions or ideas for future guests or topics for season 2, I would love to hear them. I will make my best to bring the stuff that you want and that you need. And yes, as I say in the meantime, subscribe to the newsletter, follow me on Instagram, and also during the summer I will be recording some bonus episodes, one with my duo with Anamorfosi, and another still not 100% confirmed in collaboration with the festival Classiche Armonie here in Italy, where I am right now recording this episode. And I might do some short interviews to some of the artists that comes to the festival. Not confirmed yet, but might happen, so stay tuned. And now let's go to the main thing of this episode, because I wanted to share with you some of my favorite moments from this season. And I prepared some quotes from each of the episodes of the seasons, some of my favorite quotes, and I want to share them with you again. And I want to briefly talk about it, not for super long, because of course we go deeper on those in the episode. So here we go. The first quote that I want to share is from the episode with Laura Granero, in which we talked about feminism and music. And she said in this episode, "Promising myself to always include women in my projects has radically changed my life." And yeah, as I was saying, this is super weird because I already record the same in Spanish, but I say it also in this episode's version in Spanish. I was saying that this is very interesting because, unfortunately, because of the gender bias, to consume art made by women, we have to make an active effort. Like, if you just read by default what comes to you, I assure you that is mainly books, music, etc., made by men. And one of the changes that I did in my life in the past years is to start reading more, or even mainly, books written by women, and this changed completely my perspective of the world. And it made me feel less alone, because suddenly I understood part of myself that I thought they were weird or strange, and they're not weird or strange. They're experiences that a lot of women we share. And also, I find it very interesting to collaborate with women in projects. It's something that really changed our life for the good. So I recommend it 100% to make this active effort to consume art made by women, and to collaborate with women, and to hire women in positions of power. Please, can we hire more women in positions of power? Thank you. And so the next quote is from the episode with Laura Ortiz, in which we talked about coaching for musicians, about how to balance your professional life with your personal life as a musician, something that is very difficult for us. And this is the quote: There came a moment when I thought, I don't want this for the rest of my life. And this touches me a lot because I feel as classical musicians, we find it very difficult to do other things that are not practicing our instruments. And sometimes this was also what happened to me. You do your studies in music, you graduate. I mean, I did everything, like the bachelor, the master, the specialization. I did the competitions. I did my chamber music, orchestra, everything that you can imagine. And then you graduate and you're like, is this really what I want for the rest of my life? This is such a difficult question. And you have to be very courageous to ask this yourself, to even be able to articulate this question. Because in my case, I'm also a writer. And I always felt that pursuing writing was going to interfere in my life as a violinist. It was going to make me a worse violinist, a worse musician, and that also pursuing my entrepreneurial side, as I'm doing with this podcast, was not good for me as a violinist, and is the contrary. Like, all these things add to you as a musician, they make you a better musician. And in the case of Laura, she was sharing with us how she became a coach for musicians. She was a pianist, and if you are struggling with the same, you definitely should go listen to that episode in which we talk a lot about all of this. The next quote is from Rodolfo in the episode about setting boundaries, and the quote is this: setting boundaries is respecting yourself, is giving yourself the chance to be you and to renew yourself. It's an act of self-discovery. And this quote is fantastic. I don't know what else to add to it because, it's exactly that. Sometimes, like, I am such a people pleaser. Or I will say I'm a people pleaser, an ex-people pleaser in recovery or something like that. I'm trying to stop being such a people pleaser. And for certain people, including me, it's very difficult to set boundaries. We see it as something negative. And I find it very challenging to set boundaries. And I think it's very beautiful, this perspective of setting boundary as an opportunity to be yourself, as an act, as he say, of self-discovery. So this quote is fantastic. I love it. Yeah, so the next quote I have for you is from the episode with Sol, in which we talked about Latin American music. It was one of your favorite episodes of the season. It was one of my favorites as well. It was amazing. And as a curious thing, we were both drinking Malta, that is a Venezuelan drink. I don't know how to explain it. You can Google it. It's a sort of Guinness without alcohol, with plenty of sugar. It's amazing. And it made us connect a bit with our Venezuelan sides. And she says in this episode, sometimes in the music world, it feels like there are only a few possibilities, but actually there are millions of paths. Music is a creative job. There is always a way to reinvent how things are done. And I love this because I feel that as classical musicians, we often forget that actually we are artists, that creativity give you endless possibility to be different people, to create different things, to open up new things, and we are often so trapped in these roles or this idea of what it is to be a musician, and actually we can invent those ideas ourselves. So I really, really love this one. Now from the episode with Virginie, that she was my violin teacher. It's a very beautiful episode in which we talked about mindfulness. She says, if we stay trapped in a binary world, we are headed for disaster, exploitation, an economy based on endless production, war, being male or female, black or white. Any binary lens limits our existence and impoverishes humanity. And I love this so much because especially nowadays, like whenever there is tension in the world, the media, the politicians, they want us polarized, because if we are polarized, we are easy to control. And we regain a lot of power as people when we learn how to live with the great things, how to live with people that is different than us, how to be okay with people that is different, and also allowing ourselves to be ourselves. And I think this is very, very important, especially right now. The world feels extremely tense. There are incredibly painful and terrible things going on right now, and it's very important to remember this, that it doesn't have to be black and white, and we can live with people that is different. So yeah. And now the episode with Gillian, in which we talked about creative process, is a very beautiful episode if you want to create something on your own. So listen to that if you are in that process. She says, "There is nothing more beautiful than listening to ourselves, trusting our intuition and dreams, and believing in our ability to make them real. We must fight not to lose that." And I love this as well, because very often, coming back to this thing of being an artist, being a creative, when you create things on your own, it's very easy to desist. Because, of course, when you're creating something, you know what you want to create, but people around you and the situations around you, they don't know that thing yet. And very often, sometimes you feel like what you're doing doesn't make any sense, or people tell you it's not possible to do it, or this is too ambitious, or these kind of things. And I think it's very important to stay consistent and work in our ideas, work in our dreams, work in our projects, because if we stay consistent and we insist on it until the end, magic things happens, and we are able to really do the things that we want to do. And this is something that I'm learning a lot lately, especially with my duo with Anamorphosi. I will tell you more about it in the future, but it was so difficult to actually make this project happen, to the point that we thought it's not going to happen, it's impossible. But we insisted on it, and now it's happening for real. And also with this podcast, it was the same. So yeah, believe in your dreams. Believe in them, but also work for them. It's very important. The working part, a lot of people forget. You have to be very consistent, and you have to work on your dreams. This is from the episode with Alicia, in which we talked about the struggles that we have as classical musicians. And she says, "We also need to find peace with making mistakes and understand that we can't always be the best version of ourselves." And as a perfectionist that I am, that probably you are also a perfectionist if you're listening to this, the sooner that we accept that we make mistakes and that, yeah, sometimes we mess up, the better you're going to feel, and the more at peace you're going to be with yourself. And I find this very, very difficult, but yeah, we cannot be the best version of ourselves 100% of the time, and we are going to make mistakes, and it's all part of life. And we are human beings with our lights and our shadows. So yeah. Now, this is from the episode with Chris Lloyd. This episode is really fun, very interesting. We talk about sports and music, and what can we learn from a marketing perspective, what can we learn from sports? And Chris in this episode said, "Ironically, even though we all come through the competition system, there is no real competition anymore. Maybe because orchestras now have to satisfy all markets at all times." And yeah, this is very interesting because in classical music there is a lot of competition, but it's kind of a virtual competition because sometimes something that makes the classical music industry so bland is this thing that we want to satisfy all markets, we want to satisfy all people, and that wanting to satisfy everybody only creates mediocrity. So yeah, we cannot satisfy everybody. You have to have the courage to create things that some people is going to love and some people is going to hate. And this is when great things happens for real. So yeah, very interesting quote and very interesting episode if you want to reflect a bit on marketing and stuff. So go listen to it if you want to explore more around these topics. Now, this is an episode of Leticia, in which we talked about body and movement and the importance of connecting with the body and with the movement of musicians. And she says, only after finishing music school, I finally had time to reflect on my own. This is very interesting as well because as classical musicians, we are trained to follow what our teacher says. And we follow what the school says and we follow what other people do. And actually, when you graduate and you finish your studies, guess what? You have to take decisions on your own. You cannot rely forever on your teacher. I mean, you could, but I don't think that's really a great idea to develop yourself as an artist, and as a creative person. So yeah, in that episode, we talked a lot about how was navigating life after our studies. So if you are going through that as well, I recommend it to you. So go listen to it. Now, this is from the episode with Marcus Weiss. Marcus Weiss is a really fascinating person. He's one of these people that you can sit and listen to them for hours. It's amazing to hear him listening, talking, sharing all the experiences that he had as a musician because he had an insane career. So yeah, in this episode he said, our eyes are not cameras and our ears are not microphones. It doesn't work like that. That's a very limited way to see the world. I believe we can have great intelligence, but in the end, we live through our bodies and we must take care of them. And this is also very interesting nowadays in a world in which the digital spaces take more place in our life. We are using more and more artificial intelligences to do certain tasks, and it's very important to still cultivate the relationship with the body and remember that when we make music, especially live music, we are making it with our bodies to other bodies, like other bodies are receiving it. And if you want to explore more this notion, you can go listen to that episode. So now the episode with Mateo, in which we talked about food and about cooking. Mateo said, move through the world the way you would like the world to move towards you. And I really love this because in this episode we talked a lot about curiosity. I love curiosity. It's one of my favorite things in the world. And I feel like our life get enriched so much when we stay curious. And I think it's very important to stay curious because sometimes we want people to understand us, but we don't make the effort to understand also other people. So yeah, I think that we have to be towards the world the way we want the world to be towards us. So that's very, very beautiful. And the last quote is from the episode with Umberto. Umberto is my partner. Also, he's the second half of Anamorphosis. And in that episode, we talked about books and about reading because we both share the love for books. And he said, there is a big lie that classical music is just one thing. And that's not true. Music is something else. And I really love this quote because eventually I think that this podcast and this project is really about authenticity, about allowing to allowing us to be ourselves, which sounds easy, but it's not. And this is the main goal I have with this project. I want to explore all my facets, and I want to hear also other musicians' way of being, way of thinking, way of creating. And for me, this is very beautiful because, yeah, sometimes as classical musicians, we think that there is only one way to make things, and this is not true. Music is completely something else. If somebody tells you that things are one way, this is not music. Music is something else. Music is bigger. Music is way bigger than that. And I really, really, really love that quote. So yeah, these were, for me, some of the highlights of the first season of this podcast. And I told you about a little surprise that I had for you. So I actually wanted to end this season reading tarot to you. I had in mind a guest, but at the end it didn't happen, so I decided to do this in this episode. I already did it in the one in Spanish. I will tell you later what cards I got from the one in Spanish, but I will pull other cards also for this episode in English. I am now mixing the cards. I mean, they're kind of mixed already, so it's fine. I will take 2 cards. And this is a message for you because in this side of the world, we are in summer. In the south, you are now in winter. If you're listening from the, how do you say that in English? The el hemisferio sur, the south. I don't know how you say that in English. Anyway, whether you are in winter or in the middle of the summer, this is a message for you, for what is left of the summer or of the winter, and how to prepare yourself for the new scholar year that is coming now in September. So I will pull now 2 cards. So here I go. I'm taking 1 card here, and I'm taking another one. So I'm very impressed. Sometimes tarot is very magical. So the message that I have for you, the 2 cards are the Fool and the 7 of Wands. And I find it very interesting. I will tell you more later. The Fool is a card about, we were talking about authenticity. It's a card about starting something even if you are scared. No, starting a travel, starting something, even if you're scared. The Fool is this energy of, it's a leap of faith. So it's about taking a leap of faith. You don't know what's going to happen after. You have to travel light. You cannot travel with everything from the past. So take your leap of faith. And this leap of faith will make you connect with part of your desire, of your intuition that might be uncomfortable, but that is going to bring some very exciting things to you. So this is my message. Yeah, take that leap of faith. Do the thing that scares you. You're going to feel a bit uncomfortable, but you will connect with that part of your inner desire that feels uncomfortable, but that will bring you something magical, something new. And in the episode in Spanish, there was the Emperor and the 6 of Wands, and the message is to follow your intuition and follow your desire to build things that are sustainable. So I shared that one with you in case that resonates. So yeah, this was my little tarot message for you. And we are arriving now to the end of the episode. And if you listen to the first season, you know that that I asked to all the guests to share a piece of advice, either a piece of advice from themselves or a piece of advice that they received that they wanted to share. And I wanted to give you my piece of advice, my unsolicited piece of advice, and that is to question the advices that you receive, which is very paradoxical because I'm giving you an advice right now by telling you this. But yeah, I think that sometimes we have to be very careful to whom we ask for advice and about the way we receive advice, because sometimes it doesn't resonate with us, and sometimes we do things that are not really alienated with us following somebody else's advice. So my advice is to question the advices that you receive. and take it always with a pinch of salt. So, yeah, this was the episode. Thank you so much for listening, and thank you for joining me for this episode of María Alejandra Off-Topic. For me, it was a bit weird to record these 2 solo episodes, the one in Spanish and this one. I like to have guests, but it was fun in a different way. So I hope you enjoyed it as much as I did. And if you want to share a comment or ask a question, don't hesitate to write to me. You can do it on Instagram, MA Off-Topic, or you will find also the contact form on my website. And you will find more content on the María Alejandra Off-Topic blog and newsletter. Subscribe on your favorite podcast platform so you don't miss an episode. And if you want to be part of the community, visit mariaalejandrajimenez.com. Jimenez with a J and a Z. And if you want to share this episode with your favorite people, go for it. Subscribe and leave a rating. This really helps me to keep making new episodes. And you can also support me by buying me a coffee. The link is in the description. And that's all for today. We will meet again very soon for more off-topic conversations. Bye!